it's time for me to talk about something that's very hard for me. And I have a special guest here with me who's a Nations Cup winner, Olympic gold medalist, the Bull, great Nigerian football player, Daniel Amokachi. Thanks for being here today.
Pleasure, Ebuka.
I'm very sad.
Are you sad?
I'm in a very, very bad place. I don't know. There are two moments, I think, in Nigerian football that have hit me the hardest. The 94 loss against Italy.
Yeah.
I don't think I've recovered from that anyway till now. And when we didn't make the Germany World Cup 2006. I didn't think that was going to happen again, or at least this soon. And now we're here again, and it's been very hard for me to process, very honestly. I always say the Super Eagles are my favorite football club, the football team in the world. So it's very hard for me. The World Cup is starting today, and all of that is just playing in my head. I know you're here to talk about the hashtag Nigeria next World Cup, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I'm just like, you know, we always talk about, oh, we'll learn lessons. But this is one country we know we don't learn any lessons. How are we going to come out of this, you think? We saw the friendly against Portugal, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Well, I think, thank you for having me. I think we have to thank Budweiser because this is the first time I'm face-to-face with you in the studio. So we have to thank Budweiser for that. But the truth of the matter is, I think it's a black thing. You know, and a country like Nigeria, we cannot afford to say that we are not in a major tournament. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. You know, and when you look at the Portugal game that you just talked about, that replication that tells you that, okay, we don't even deserve to be there. You know, there are 1, 2, 3 different angles that you have to look at it. Bringing in the right coach, bringing in the right players, and get the right environment to play at. You know, we always bring the wrong coaches, you know, to handle, you know, a country like Nigeria. We always get the wrong players, you know, to do things that they can use in Nigeria to just have that ladder of a professional contract. That you blame, you know, some people in the federation, and that you blame, you know, the coaches for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the people have overanalyzed, you know, our game with Ghana and how things went. So let's not really go into that because it's been many, many months past. But you talk about the coach there. Augustine Iguavon was the coach at the time. He had a good run, or at least a decent run by many people's standards. That happened, and there was a cry for his head. We have Pesero as the coach now. We've lost so many games in a row. I don't think we've won a friendly game since he's become our coach.
Has he won any friendly in his time before he came?
Yeah, so, I mean, why? What are you... I mean, people always wonder, why are people like you not fighting this fight? Or are you fighting the fight that you're not being listened to? Is he the coach Nigeria should have at this time?
Yeah, well, first of all, we go back to Garnet Roy. Roy wasn't, you know, a specific coach for Nigeria 100%. For me, I was one of those that are not support with his antic and tactic when it comes to, you know, football. But, you know, he was let go. When he was supposed to be, you know, laid off, they didn't, and they allowed the process you know, to stay too long, and then they let him go at the wrong time. Yes, they brought in, you know, Cerezo, you know, and he had a good run, like you did say. But at the same time, when you bring in a coach, the difference between bringing an European, you know, and a Nigerian is you don't give the Nigerian, not even the time, you don't give him that confidence to bring in his own staff.
Okay.
And then you get, you know, you entangle into his business. You know, and what we're hearing, you know, why we never made, you know, a Qatar was because an evening before, you know, the game, certain players knew they were going to start because verbally there was interaction between the technical bench and those players. And then now you have...
So is this the coach or...
Yes, the coach.
The coach told them already?
The coach can be the one. He can send his assistant. You know, they have like 4 different assistants. You know, and then at the end of the day, the next day, you know, when they sat down in front of the tactical board, that was a different list. You know, and then that tells you there is an entangle from somebody else to play some certain players.
This is something we've always heard about, though, you know, about, you know, meddling in team lists.
Yeah.
Probably from your time, even when you were there.
In our time, it never happened.
Okay.
You know, because we have a generation of a lot of sexy players. And if Ebuka is playing, you know that he's a good player, you support him. You know, that's just the way it is. Yeah, of course. But now you have players who, you know, a woman who sells akara or, you know, on the side road knows that that player is not even supposed to start the game. That's what we have now. You know, quality-wise, do we have those players? So, definitely, yes.
I mean, but most people will argue that, I mean, we have some of the best strikers in Europe now, regardless of what leagues they are in. A pretty decent midfield. Maybe the defense and the goalkeeping positions are a bit troublesome. Are you blaming the team? Or, like I asked, is Pesero the man for that position?
Like I said earlier, the coach has some blame. The players have, because the players is that committed and that passion, that patriotism that they have to put in to win. For a coach, bringing in a coach who was, you know, pushed in, like we heard from the media, that the Mourinho was the one that, you know, pushed for the job, and he got the job, and he's Mourinho's scholar who plays the same formation like Mourinho. Look at the Portuguese game. The Portuguese game definitely tells you that you have to unleash those players. You know, one thing I tell people, this is Nigeria, this is Africa. You have to have a brand. Brazil struggled in the 50s, and they said, no, this is not our style of football. We have sexy players who can dribble. We have players who can do with whatsoever they want to do with the ball. Let's unleash them, let them get it doing. Africa, we got speed, we got strength, we got technique, and we got the skills. So why don't we use what we have to dominate the world? And if we don't do that, believe me, we'll continue struggling.
Do you think he needs to go?
And it's too early for him to go. Nigeria haven't even finished paying the former coach yet. How do you want this one to go now, and then you start paying him? The last coach was $2 million. This, nobody knows the contract. It might be 2, it might be 3, it might be 4. You know, but it's the wrong time, you know, to allow him to go. He just came. But, you know, does he need help? If he do need help, then they have to get injected there. One very important thing, I was watching the TV before I came here, Christian Chukwu. We have a philosophy that has worked for us once, twice, and 3 times. When Westerhoff came, he looked onward. When Keshi came, he looked onward. And we all succeeded. Yes, the league is on a shamble right now, but the league will get better. And we have the quality. Yesterday, I was invited to an Edigbo, you know, community cup. And I was watching the game, and I asked, are you sure these players are traders? And they said 100% of them are traders. And I watched 90 minutes of football, and I was amazed. Nothing.
I mean, there's no doubt that the talent is here.
The talent is there, but we have to. We have to get those talents.
Yeah, so on that note, I want to, you know, just take things forward now, because our past is very heavy. If we dwell on it, it gets, you know, very heavy. And like I said at the top of the show, there's a hashtag Niger Next World Cup, which we're trying to focus on. Just, you know, as the World Cup starts in about 2-3 hours from now, I believe, Nigeria will not be there. But Nigerians will watch and hopefully learn.
Last few Nigerians will watch.
Hopefully see things that would inspire them, you know. 2026 is not far away. It's going to come in the blink of an eye.
That's right.
I mean, the Nations Cup is even coming very soon, you know. Talk about this hashtag to us and, you know, what Nigerians should be sort of holding on to. There's a new NFF chairman. There's a new board, I believe, you know. Are things looking slightly positive or hopeful, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the hashtag, you know, Project 2026, it's, you know, we have to give thanks to Budweiser, because if you have, you know, an organization who pumped a lot of money into developing football, and they don't get to see, you know, that, you know, you want to see, you know, your mileage. Where's the mileage? The World Cup is the mileage, and Budweiser will be there, but Nigeria would not be representing Budweiser there. You understand? So looking for the NFF president, I think, you know, he's a man that listens, and that's a plus, because we were in an administration, you know, I was in the glass house about 4 weeks ago. The last time I was at the glass house was 2012.
Oh, wow.
And then we have a lot of stakeholders who said, when we went there, said that was the first time they were at the glass house. Then that tells you that something is wrong. And now you have a good ambience, you know, at the federation. That tells you have a man that wants to listen. But at the same time, you know, it's not just him. You know, he needs a team to take him on the ride. And if he doesn't have that team, then we'll definitely keep dwelling on, say, 2026. We are not there. But and he's very slim, because the number of representative of African countries is very slim. If FIFA doesn't do anything before then,
it's still going to be 5.
You are playing the World Cup now without Nigeria, without Egypt. We'd have Cote d'Ivoire. And when you talk of only those 3 countries, all the quality players and world-star players that are in those 3 countries are missing.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. And just to remind you, the hashtag is Niger Next World Cup. Please use that as a medium to express yourself.
Use it, express yourself.
Express yourself, and maybe what you want to see going forward in the coming months. But still speaking on that, I mean, I hear, I think it's in the USA, the 2026 World Cup is going to be holding.
America, Canada, and Mexico. That's right.
I mean, I'm pretty hopeful. I know that you're not particularly excited about the team, or I don't know if you are. But I see certain names that are jumping at me, and these are young players. We see what Osimhen is doing currently. Iwobi suddenly has woken up and is one of the stars of the Premiership right now. People are lighting up certain leagues here and there. And that hope is probably what some of us are still holding on to going forward. What do you want to see being done, player-wise? This focus on Europe, is it too much? Can anything be done with our local league before then that would, birth more players, you think?
Well, our league, the federal government, set a committee, the IMC, who are really trying to make sure that we get into a level where, football will be. You have a brand that is not even on TV, then you're not selling the brand. Yeah. You have quality players who nobody knows. And IMC is there to eradicate those corruptions when it comes to football, officiating, infrastructure, because if you don't have a good infrastructure, you have to be a TV friendly. And that's where Budweiser comes in, and that's where Budweiser is pumping in a lot of, those zeros to make sure that the NFF get it right, to make sure that the league gets it right. Looking onwards will definitely help. Like I said earlier, a philosophy was there. West Ham did it, Bonfrey Joe did it, Stephen Keshi did it, and we succeeded. You understand? But of course, Iwobi, I said earlier, you have to unleash those players. Iwobi wasn't unleashed. Now he's playing under a manager that unleashed him. Now he's showing his worth. You understand? You have Osimhen who, when we lost out of the World Cup, probably he was the only player who was. If we had 3 or 4 Osimhens the day we played Ghana, probably would have been singing a different song now. Would have been there. Because he's a player that the whole world knows that, he's one of in the top 5 world star strikers today, globally. And if we have a manager who will allow those players to express themselves, like I said, we will be, in America, in Canada, or in Mexico. But we need to unleash those players for them to express themselves. If we play the way we played against Portugal, those tactically don't move. The midfielders are not moving. The wing backs are not moving. You pack in a bus. You pack a bus with a country that doesn't have talent. If you're from Niger, you pack a bus. But if you are a Nigerian that everybody is skillful, and those players are expressing themselves in their club, why hold them back? Yeah. Let them lose.
If you're watching, you can see the hashtag on your screen now, Niger Next World Cup. Like you said, Budweiser is doing a lot to support, the official sponsors of the World Cup. Yeah. And of course, they're a proudly Nigerian brand as well, and they're doing a lot to also support Nigerian football. I wanted to use the hashtag and share with us. We always say Nigeria has 200 million coaches. Everybody sits in their house and
like I said earlier, a woman who's selling akara, she knows football.
Everybody's a coach, and that's what we want to see now. Share with us on Twitter, what you think Nigeria needs to do to be at the next World Cup and to succeed in the coming years. What do you want to see fans, or what do you want to hear from fans? What kind of messages do you want to hear from them?
I want to, we meet. The beautiful thing about this football of ours is called team sports, and and if you're not open to criticism, then you will never succeed. And when you meet 5 people, when you sit down, you sit down. I'm from the north. You sit on the Meshai stool and you're frying some indomine for you or doing that shai, and you hear people discussing football. Yep. You pick one thing that is true. And that's what we want to hear from those fans.
Some people always say about enjoying, these games at viewing centers.
Yes.
You hear what I'm saying?
And he's right. Yeah. Why is this coach not taking this player out? This player is supposed to play from the right. Isn't he supposed to do this? Why is he playing a false number 9? We need to know. They should help us know that this is what we should do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Should we let go of most of those players who are using Nigeria for a stepping a ladder so that they can have to make it to Europe or make it to the Premiership, the percentage they need in the Premiership? We need to know that. Should the coaches, should Nigeria go for a coach that is from South America that plays the same style of football that we play? Those were all what we want to know.
Yeah. You've worked with the national team a few times, with Keshi, I believe. Yeah. With Shamodu Shuaibu. Would you take the job if it was offered?
Yeah, well, like I said, I love football, and I love coaching. But at the same time, I've seen that it's not just a coaching. I think we need more, a knowledge when it comes to the administrative angle of it. And that's where I'm looking at, and that's where I keep telling my colleagues, the JJ coaches, the Kanu, this is what we need. A lot of us are saying we are coaches. We cannot just be coaches. In the administrative angle of it, we need that change. If you don't have that change there, they give you the job, you still stumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can use that in your Niger Next World Cup hashtag and let us know if you want him at the helm of affairs, at the next World Cup. But before the World Cup, part of the build-up to the World Cup is also the Nations Cup.
That's right.
We'll have that coming up very, very shortly. Are you excited about what you're seeing with the national team?
Excitement.
And what do you want to see by the Nations Cup?
Definitely, excitement is out of it because no.
So what do you want to see?
We just watch a game and we say, but quality-wise, do we have the talent? 100%. You can never take that away from our stars playing, around the world and our stars, playing back home.
Yeah.
We just need those players to be passionate enough. We're discussing, and, a friend said, most of these players, probably if you play, the national anthem of the Union Jack, or you play a Belgian national anthem, they will be gingered up because they are not Nigerians. Because what they know is where they were born.
Oh, yeah.
And it's different. And that's just the truth of it. You have to, immerse these players. Certain numbers from Europe, certain numbers from home. And those players will definitely educate them that we have to. This is Nigeria. I'm sitting here, I'm not in Qatar. I'm supposed to sign a contract of about $200,000.
Yep.
That's a lot of money to sit in front of the camera and talk football. You are supposed to be in Qatar, but you're not there.
Yeah.
Journalist-wise, commercial-wise, a lot of people have lost out. That's what football is. That's what the World Cup is all about. And like I said, thank Budweiser for letting me express myself.
Very true.
I always hold it back
because
I'm not a media person. I don't like coming and all that stuff. But if I get paid, I show up. But thank you, Budweiser.
Thank you very much, and of course, thanks to Budweiser. The hashtag of course is Niger Next World Cup. Please share with us on Twitter what you think Nigeria should be doing, because 2026 is around the corner. Of course, we can't miss out on 2 World Cups in a row. We definitely have to be there. On the final note, very, very quickly, let me put you on the spot. People have predicted Portugal versus Argentina in the final. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup?
Well, you cannot go to the World Cup and not talk about Germany, because they always trip and get something. Brazil, they're the favorite. They've been world champions like forever. Argentina haven't lost a game in over 1,000 days. That's over 3 years. That tells you a lot of that team. And of course, maybe this year will be the Belgium year. You can never tell, but I won't gamble because I need my money in my pocket. So,
may the best man win.
May the best team wins.
Thank you very much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to your tweets. Please, Niger Next World Cup is the hashtag.